Hello, my beautiful viewers. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? So we are doing a recording. I am still in New Zealand. Sunday is my last day with my family. I didn't see my family for 18 months. I came here to come and visit my grandsons, Xander 9 and Zayden 4. And then the new little one, Zachary, was born 2 weeks after I came. And he is 3 months already. So now it's time for me to go back to South Africa, to my husband and my son. So it's like, I'm still okay. We're going to do the recording. So when you see this beautiful episode, I will be in South Africa already a week. So my beautiful viewers, I've got amazing guests today. We're going to talk about purpose and we're going to talk about clarity. And I would love to talk a little bit about the Diamond Beauties, as all of these amazing ladies is part of the Diamond Beauty Forever group on Facebook. And all of them are my Diamond Beauty experts, my wisdom keepers, but we're going to talk about it. But before we start, do you know your purpose? Do you know what makes you happy? Do you know what steps you can take to get your purpose? And above all, do you have some clarity? Because sometimes you don't have clarity, but you have an idea what you want to do. And then as soon as you step in, you do, then you will get more clarity. So a lot of people is hang up with but I don't have clarity. Just do something. The clarity will come, and we're going to talk about that. So my beautiful ladies, I've set the scene for our show today. My beautiful Nino, please introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from. Tell us who you're serving as well. My beautiful JL, then it's over to you. Tell us where you're from, who you're serving, what you do, and then it's beautiful Wendy. So Nino, all over to you.
Hello, everybody. It's so nice to be here. And thank you, Sanet, for inviting me. My name is Ina Maglic. I'm an intuitive marketing architect, energy healer, CEO and founder of Healing Millions. We help healers build profitable, predictable, scalable healing businesses. And we currently focus on our membership, Healing Millions, where we support heart-centered healers expand their reach, get more clients so we can bring peace and healing to humanity. I'm based in Austria, but I serve clients worldwide, and I'm super excited to connect with you.
Thank you. Thank you, my beautiful one. And just as the Diamond Beauties Forever, globally, you've got globally clients. That's incredible. So amazing. Thank you so much for being here. JL?
Well, hello. This is a surprise that I'm here. But anyway, I'm in Adelaide, Australia, and I'm the writing strategist expert for the Diamond Beauties. I'm also a regular writer for the Diamond Beauties magazine. I first met Sanet 12 months ago now, and my purpose at that stage and that time was to use my acquired knowledge gained from a lived experience with an eating disorder, anorexia nervosa, and a range of mental illnesses, and connect with people via my online programs, globally and everywhere. But during the last 12 months since first meeting Sanet, I think I've been through a range of changes, and particularly from July last year up until now. And I've really had to sit down and say, look, what is my real message? What do I want to do? What attention do I want to give to the elements of my story that can hopefully inspire other people? And I've narrowed it right down, like, I really love public speaking. So that's the direction that I'm really going to grow and develop this year. And the main message, because there's so many when you have different experiences, and I'm sure I'm going to hear of those with the other ladies on the panel today, but my main interest, a soapbox, if you like, is looking at the relationships that we enter into and how our relationships impact our health and influence our lives moving forward. I guess that's because I've identified that that's what has happened for me, throughout my life. So my purpose is to educate people and society about the role that relationship has in mental illness development in particular. And my clarity has come since going down the gurgle again in July last year, because I was doing way too much and I had to stop and say, whoa, pick this up. Where are you really going to? So that's my claim to fame, I guess. Not really fame.
And you did that amazing online course to help you write beautiful articles, and it will always be there. It will be evergreen. And when you're on stage, you can always tell people there is a course that you can attend to. So never throw that hard work you have done away. You are incredible.
Oh, it's being used here in Adelaide, don't worry.
Perfect. And then also your articles you are writing for the magazine. So my beautiful viewers, not only do I have the Diamond Beauties Forever group, I've got the Tanzanite Hero group as well, a men's group. The men's group is 1 year old and there's 140 gentlemen on there. And then the Diamond Beauties is 3.5 years old and we are over 1,000 members. We've got the Diamond Moments magazine. And my beautiful JL, your articles was like blowing us away. Your poems is amazing. So thank you so much for being in my life. My beautiful Wendy.
Thank you. I love being on the show, Sanet. It's always a privilege to be here and to be with these wonderful human beings that I can call my friends, and it is just wonderful to be able to connect with such beautiful souls across the globe. It's really heartwarming. So my name is Wendy B. King. I'm a life and transformation coach. I call myself the game changer coach because that is the name that my clients have been giving me. Basically, when you've suffered any trauma, you've gone through any hardship in life, which we all do, they have gone to other therapists, they've tried other avenues to get the help that they need. However, they have not had transformation as they have had when they've come to me. And one of the reasons is, one, I had to leave home at 17 years of age because of an abusive environment. Then at 25 years of age, I lost my firstborn child. And then I also went through some other hardships and difficulties. But through all that, I have discovered, our inner strength and what we need to do as women to look after ourselves and not to be who we think we need to be, but really embrace ourselves. And sometimes that takes a lot of discovery and work. And especially when you go through trauma, and losing a child is a trauma. But we, as I've discovered with my research, is that the medical profession, when they go through their training, they are not taught or given one lecture on trauma. So therefore, when you go to a medical practitioner with anything to do with childhood trauma or trauma that's happened to you later in life, they want to give you a prescription because they are not taught about the mind-body connection, or they will refer you to a therapist or psychotherapist. So with me not getting the help that I needed, I decided at one stage of my life 4 years ago that I had fewer summers ahead of me and I did not want to be existing. I wanted to start living. So therefore, I started doing the research on the brain, trauma, our nervous system, our mind, and I am now the author of a book called Why Me? How to Regain Hope After the Death of a Child. And that book is, part 1 is about my story, and part 2 is the lessons we need to know about what happens to us so that we don't feel like we're going mad, and to know how to manage ourselves through this journey, because it's a new journey. So My whole purpose and my goal is to empower women to listen to their inner voice, to help them bridge the gap from where they are and where they want to be and know where they are meant to be, because I can take you there.
Wow, incredible. And you just received Wendy's book. You are welcome to lift it up. There is Wendy's book. How amazing. So my beautiful Wendy, thank you for being my guest, my host. When I visit the South Island, I stayed 5 days with you. It was incredible. My beautiful Nino and JL, when Wendy come and I want to say collect, but if the translation is not right, but that's what my Afrikaans is.
Welcome.
When she welcomed me on in the airport, she had the most beautiful big butterfly balloon. It was so beautiful, but the first thing I saw, I didn't even see I saw beautiful, your face, beautiful, your hair, your face. It was like an angel. And then I looked up, I saw the butterfly, and I knew that string was attached to Wendy's hand. I knew the butterfly balloon was for me, and we embraced each other for probably 4 or 5 minutes. We didn't leave each other. It was totally incredible. You are all my beautiful ones, truly amazing. So if we can start with you, my beautiful Nina, your mission is to help millions of healers globally to start their business or to make a business of to do healing so that they don't go back to the work they used to do. What is the first things that you will, or tips that you will bestow on them to around about clarity and purpose?
Yeah, first of all, before we dive into this beautiful question, I want to say thank you, Sanet, for this beautiful group, Diamond Group, because thanks to you, I met amazing friends. And one of these friends is Wendy. We got on a call, we were talking, and she sent me her beautiful book from New Zealand to Austria. And it's signed book, and I just cannot be happier to have this beautiful book and to meet such amazing people all around the world. And I just want to say thank you so much for this beautiful group. This is the group for the first time you join Facebook group and somebody cares. Somebody really, really cares and welcomes you, and we laugh and we cry together and we dance, and it's just beautiful. And I just want to say thank you for that. And when we come, I want to come back to the question you asked me about the clarity for people who are just starting the business or who have been in the business for a long time but have been stuck in some point of time. And the biggest problem is very often we forget what we want. And we try to build businesses on someone else's beliefs what our business should be. And we forget what we wanted, why we started this business, because we always follow somebody else's advice. And before we move forward with our business, it's really important that we get clear with ourselves. What do we want? How we want our business to be? Because my vision of my business is not the same as your vision of your business. We are completely different people, and that's fine. That's perfect. The world needs us. And that's why I will really encourage everybody just to take a deep breath. Put one hand on your womb, another hand on your heart, and just ask yourself, what do I want? What feels good to me? And start from there. That's the biggest thing. This is because you know what you want. Your soul knows why it came here. But it's really up to you to really discover and remember that purpose.
And my beautiful Nina, that's quite daunting because you don't know if you know, but if you think about it, it makes you happy. But then people influence and people tell you, and then you also look at gurus and other people that is doing maybe what you want to do, and then they are there and you are here, so you are comparing yourself to where they are, and then you feel you're not good enough, and then that whole spiral. So, this is a very big thing, and that's why I commend and say thank you so much for you helping the beautiful healers, because they are beautiful in what they're doing. But business is another thing. That is one of the things I have picked up. I have a heart of gold, but sometimes I have to be a little bit strict to say, no, I'm so sorry, I will not allow that, or no, you cannot do that. So yes, I love that. So we're going to do this show a little bit differently. I just got this epiphany. So my beautiful JL and Wendy, as you heard what Nina just said, do you have a question that you can ask Nina? So I don't know if you want to ask Wendy. You can start. What question would you love to find out from Nina?
Well, it's just so wonderful to have Nina part of our group. So I just thank you. It's beautiful, because all of us sometimes forget that we have something special to give that no one else can give, because there's only one of us. So for Nina, my question is, when someone feels overwhelmed in starting their business, what is one piece of advice you would give them?
First of all, let's get clear what you want. And I have my, I call it GPS. First of all, let's get clear how you want your business to be, on your goals and your dreams and your visions. And the second thing is get really clear who you want to serve. Who's your ideal client? We cannot help everybody. We can only help people who want our help and are ready to be helped. Otherwise, it's really hard to help somebody if they don't want to help. And the next thing is really get clear how you want to serve these people, what you want to sell, because you need to find a way to help them. And I know that so many people are so scared of selling, but I see selling as a service and help, act of service and help, because people are active, especially in our field. People who have a pain, who have a trauma, who have some issues, they're actively looking for a solution. They don't want to be stuck. They don't want to live in pain. They are looking for a solution. And our job as a coaches, as a healers, is really to get loud, to explain people what we do and how we can help them. Because selling is really helping our clients solve the biggest problems they're praying and hoping to get solved. And marketing is not bad, it's not evil. It's just your tool to tell people how you can help them and how you can serve them. And that's it. And what I mean is getting loud, is having your message very clear. You need to really be specific what kind of issue you can help your client with, because you cannot help them with everything. You can help them with specific issue, and get clear and try to articulate that in a way that your potential clients can understand, because very often there's a huge mismatch what coaches believe is the problem, what healers believe is the problem, and what clients believe is the problem. Because it's a huge difference, because very often I will just give from this perspective of healer. When clients come to us, they always complain about their relationships, about their partners, kids, friends, co-workers, bosses. But as a healer, we know there is an unhealed wound, and another person just triggered that unhealed wound. And when we start talking to our clients from the perspective unhealed wounds, they will not get it, because they are not at that stage of healing. We need to explain to them in their own language so they can understand what we do and how we can help them. And this is where the major breakthroughs happens.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Incredible, incredible. My beautiful JL.
Yeah, Nina, it's lovely listening to you. It's the first time I've met these two ladies, even though I've been around for a while. But Nina, my understanding is that you help people set up businesses, businesses that they envisage, will support them in their vision and where they're moving forward. And I'm hearing that you do that sort of work to make sure that they've got clarity and they're meeting the purpose that they're setting out to achieve. So I imagine that some of those would be, once they've defined all of that, they would be setting up and feeling really good. And then there might come a few roadblocks. So what's a major roadblock that you see, even though they're quite confident, next thing, they've hit a roadblock that perhaps they weren't expecting. And so what's a main one that you would see people hitting, I guess, identify, and then what would your advice be in getting them past that roadblock to continue down their business journey?
Thank you so much. That's a really good question. I think the biggest blocks we have is ourselves, because very often we subconsciously sabotage ourselves, subconsciously sabotage our life and business. And what I mean by that, a lot of things what we have in our lives is a lot of fears, a lot of doubts, a lot of limiting beliefs are really preventing us from stepping into our soul purpose and do the work we are born to do. And very often these fears and these limiting beliefs and these doubts are not even ours. Very often we have a lot of fears. Oh my God, what other people will say about us? What if they judge us? Oh my God, what if I fail and the whole world watches? And the thing is, all these things are completely normal. Like, it happens to everybody. And the thing is, we have to ask ourselves, what is the worst thing what can happen? You can get out there, help some people and change people's lives. And that's a really big thing. I think that's huge. And you can learn a lot. There's no failures. There's some just learning lessons. Every time when you try to do something, you learn something. Either you learn how to do it right or how to not do it. And that's okay. And I think that's just the process of learning. And the next thing what I always have to say, like, if you want to build a business that is going to touch thousands of people, you need to work on yourself, your own fears and doubts. You need to look inside of you, because fear is very often connected to the pain. What kind of pain you're trying to avoid? And you have to dig deep and really understand what is the pain. Very often, I will tell you my story. When I started my healing business, I caught myself a lot sabotaging my business. And the big reason for that was I had the belief that if I build business and it's going to be successful, I will not have enough time for my kid. And that was really painful state I wanted to avoid. So we need to be honest with ourselves and really dig deep and find those blocks. Fear of judgments, fear of visibility. And I always say to people, if you have this fear of visibility, how can you help anybody if nobody knows that you exist? You can be the best coach, the best healer in the world, but if nobody knows about you, nothing really matters. So you need to step outside of your comfort zone. And very often we need to work with mentors, because very often we are so close and so attached to our emotions, to our fears, to our limiting beliefs and doubts that we cannot overcome them. And alone, we need help. And very often we don't see the real block stopping us. And the coach or mentor or a friend or whoever wants to help you can see those blocks and help you. And I always ask people, like, dig deep, find what is really blocking, work on your fears. That's the big issue. Like, fears, like, oh my God, what other people will say. And I always say to people, I always tell the story. When I started my healing business, before I became a healer, I was working in marketing. I have been working in marketing for 18 years. And I remember it took me 1 year to post on social media that I have a healing business, because I had that fear, oh my God, what my clients are going to say about me, because my clients were big companies and CEOs, and what they are going to still think about me. And the moment I published on LinkedIn that I have a company, one of my mentors, master thesis mentors, and one of my former bosses sent me a card and says, it looks like you found your calling. What can you wish for more? And that was for me my wake-up call. I cried like a baby, because I realized the only person standing in my way is me. If I want to build a business, I need to overcome myself. And if I want to lead my clients, I need to lead by example. I need to be example for them. And I need to first look inside what is out of alignment inside of me and change that, so I can lead by example.
So did you see the glasses, Nina? It was beautiful. Thank you for that beautiful question and a beautiful answer. So Nina, this is for you for 2025. What is your word for 2025?
Expansion.
Yes, to you for 2025, to expansion, Nina. You're going to be amazing. I remember when we had our coffee chat, we cried, we laughed, as you said, and you said, I said, for me, my vision is, my statement is, I create space and stages for millions of people around the world. And you were giving me a figure, and I said, why not millions? And then you said, and then you realize, why not? Go big, go big, go big. And that was such an amazing day that we had. Yes. And what was the name that you had? You are a what? Just tell the viewers, you are a what?
I am intuitive marketing architect. I'm a
Oh,
marketing coach.
yes.
Yes, Sanet gave me this beautiful name, and I help healers with marketing and business.
Wow. Yeah. I remember when I gave you the name, you started to cry. And that is exactly what you are. You're helping others to build their business. So are you ready, my beautiful JL? We're going to move over to you. And then, ladies, we will be asking also a question for JL. So, JL, you are teaching or helping out at schools at the moment. You can tell us a little bit about that. And then when I ask you to do the strategy for to write, especially for magazine, and I'm so sorry the Diamond Beauties didn't pick it up as yet. I still believe they're going to do it, but you had this amazing plan. You did all this work. You are truly, I never see somebody like you. You were like totally amazing. But can you tell us how everything you do is related to your purpose and how did you get clarity on each of that? You did mention a few pointers in the beginning, but if you can expand on that, please.
Yeah, as I said, I went through a lot of changes from about July last year to really nail down. I realized I had too many fingers in too many pies and probably wasn't really doing any of them that well because I was divided in so many areas. And then a friend of mine said, look, Jael, what do you really want to bring to the global stage? What is the message that you would like to share and like people to hear? And I sat down, I really thought about it, and I went back to him a couple of days later, and I said, as I said at the beginning of this particular, what do we call this?
The Power Hour TV show.
Power Hour. You can see I haven't been around for a while. You know, I really want to get people to really become aware that what relationships hold, how we treat each other, how we speak to each other, how we raise each other, how we connect to each other, whatever other connecting words you want to use, has a powerful effect or the ability to impact your character and your health journey moving forward in life. And I've come up with that realization because of my own background of sexual abuse, my own background of then developing an eating disorder and being brought up in a very perfectionist culture of family as well. And by my mid-30s being totally exhausted, and then finding the right person who asks those sort of questions. Let's look at the life events that have shaped you. Let's have a look at, you know, the people in your life and how are they still impacting you? Are you allowing them to create fear for you? And it just unpacked and we explored every element of my life to find out where all the fears were generating from. And as we did that, the underlying causes and stories came out as well. So having that experience and acquiring all of the knowledge that I did along the way, is little doubt that that's the direction that I want to go into. And hence, you know, 4 books later in 3 years to really drive home this message as well. And the 4th one now being presented for a series, an online series. And I'm really hoping that that will find its place on that platform, because I think presenting it visually to people is what's really going to hit it home. I don't want it for me. I want it for the message. And as I've gone along on this journey, you know, you meet so many people who are in the same place. And I will share this, something extraordinary that's happened in my life in this last week. And I thought this just really backs up my purpose. I was encouraged to go on ancestry.com in April last year because somewhere a cousin had dug up someone none of us knew about. And so we started to go through that journey. And by November this year, I went, oh, okay, I'll do it for you. And on New Year's Day, I woke up and there it was on my screen, my laptop. There was this, what do you call it? Cousin once removed. Nobody knew about her. And so I reached out and I connected with her. And it's been pretty full on over the last week. I've met her in person and we're, together with her partner, we're working out who are you, who are your parents, what is your lineage and everything. And when I met her in person, it was just obvious, I just teared up. I thought, oh my goodness, and thank goodness I've been through what I've been through to be able to just be at peace and accept the story behind the story and accept her into my life without judgment, and this is where I want the world to go, to realize that judgment's got to go, criticism's got to go, take yourself out of the equation, don't make it all about you, and really learn about the responsibilities that we have in relationships as well, because that's one thing that I did differently apparently to a lot of other clients. When I met the lady who finally helped me, she said, you're amazing. You are the only one prepared to look at you and what you're doing and how you're impacting others. And I thought, well, I'm here to heal totally, So that's my purpose and that's my soapbox and how I want to get out there. And by that person asking me that question to really nail me, you've got a lot of messages. What's the main one? What's the one you're really an expert at? And it was that relationship connection one. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes,
Sanet.
it does. And can you tell us quickly about your beautiful online course that you have created?
Oh, yes, of course. And then, so I have online courses for eating disorders, but also on my website's there for you to see. I have set up through Sanet's encouragement a range of courses to help other people write their stories in a way that will be engaging and presenting for, for possible readers, because I think we can all carry our story, and those that have got powerful stories, we need to hear them. These are the stories that are going to heal the world and stand up and make people listen. However, a lot of stories aren't being heard because people don't have the confidence to write them down or speak them down or whatever, to share their acquired knowledge. So we're missing out on a lot. So one of the abilities I guess I have is to write. And the other ability stemming from years and years of teaching is teaching others how to take your knowledge and powerfully portray it through dialogue and through text. So those courses are sitting there as well. And I do have a young man here in Adelaide at the moment that's reached out to me and made all of this worthwhile. And he's wanting to become a writer in his own name. And when he first presented himself to me, I thought, how am I going to tell him he's not a writer? And I didn't know what to do. So I sat down with him for 2 hours and went through his first thing and made all of these, he was saturated by the end. And the next week he wrote another story really quickly, and he put into that piece of work everything I told him, and it was brilliant. That was him taking his responsibility to get himself where he wanted to go. So, and he has his own story to tell. So one day, watch this space, his story will come out as well. So they're the two things that I offer, but I want to do it through public speaking.
I love it. I love it. My beautiful Nino, do you have a question for beautiful JL?
Yes, first of all, JL, it's such a pleasure and honor to meet you. We have met for the first time, but I have a feeling we have known each other for so many years because your story is super inspiring. It's a beautiful story that world needs to hear. And what I love about your story is how you position yourself. Yes, I went through all of that, but I'm not the victim. I got a lot of confidence and I got a lot of gifts to share my story with the world that help the world heal. And I really, really love about that. And I have a question since you have been working at school and you teach courses and you're also a relationship coach. I have a question. What advice would you give to parents how to raise their kids? And is there anything specific we need to focus on?
Gosh, how long have you got? That's a really wide question. Let's see if we can narrow it down a little bit, because this is something as a teacher in particular in secondary schools we see all the time. We see the ramification of the lack of parenting, if I can put it that way. But how do we learn how to parent? Where do we learn it? Well, we don't. I would really love parenting courses to front up on the curriculum at school, in the secondary area. I would really love for people that are intending to have children to do parenting courses as well. And to, once again, we talk about fear. I was raising my children to be little perfectionists as well until I dealt with my fear. And then the way I changed was I handed their lives over to them. I stepped back and I went, who is Brad? Who is Kimberly? Who has been given to me through this process called birthing them into the world? And I got to know who Brad was as a person, all the elements that came together to make him, and stepped back with guidance and with kindness, not yelling and screaming and hitting. I was a yeller and a screamer. I'm not anymore. I wasn't a hitter, although my daughter would say I probably was, so I'll have to debate that one with her. But parents, be prepared to accept the child that you have welcomed into your life. Do not try to put yourself into that child. Find out who they are and nurture who they are. Teach them the social protocols and the boundaries of respect and kindness and those sort of social norms. But don't drum you into them in your perfectionism or your fears or whatever. Step back. I had to step right back and say, and it was really hard, and say, okay, Brad, who are you? Okay, Kim. And Kimberly, my daughter, was my greatest gift because she was a budding performer. They both are. But she was that head basher on the wall and that I'm going to be who I am. And she really challenged me. And it was really hard stepping back and saying, who are you, Kimberly? Where do you want to go in life and how are you going to get there? And gradually, as they grew and age appropriate, I would sit down and talk with them and say, where do you think you're going? I didn't control them anymore. I gave them the responsibility of their lives and where they were going, right down to their reports. When they'd come home, I'd sit down and I'd say, you explain it to me. How do you want it to go? Do you want it to be better? And who's going to support you in making it better? So parenting is about having conversations, about learning who this child is and supporting that child to be who they are within the boundaries of, being responsible within society. I don't mean just let them run amok, and get those screens out of their faces. Take screens, their little brains. I'm watching my grandson grow at the moment. He's 2. I've been with him this morning again. Hence, coming straight off the farm and looking like this. And I'm seeing the difference. I hope this isn't going to come across big-headed or arrogant, but I am witnessing the difference between a little boy growing up being fed really well, being guided to care about others and be kind and say thank you and say please, but in a nice way. And what does Chester want here? And what do you want there? And him being very responsible at the age of 2 of making wise decisions because he's having conversations. So he's learning to direct his life and know what's good and what's bad because he's hearing it first. There are no screens at all. He's outside playing all the time. His little brain's developing properly. And then I watch other children that I have in my classrooms who've been raised on screens or raised on watching telly all day or raised on parents yelling and screaming at them and those sort of environments. And boy, you see the difference, in everything. I could talk about this for 4 hours and I don't know if I'm answering your question. But the main one is find out who your child is and nurture that child regardless of what other people think and say.
Wow, thank you. Thank you, beautiful Nina. That's and Jael, Wendy. Do we have a short question for Jael? Because I need to come to you as well, my beautiful one.
Oh, look, everything you said about children is fascinating, and being a parent. And I love this topic too because I'm not really asking a question here. I'm just agreeing because I've been doing so much research myself about what happens to our brain at such a young age and how the need for nurturing and attachment is so important. And also that the neural networks in our brain because our brain is developing, it will start setting up networks to what is in that child's environment. And this is what so many people don't understand, is that it's like you're building a road in a country and you're building a road in a city, and you've got two different types of brains, and you put those two different brains in a classroom and you're going to get different outcomes. And parents aren't taught how important it is that they need to be, they're like a flower. We need to nurture them. We can't give them screens. We get tired and that, but you can't just let these devices, they have their place. They're amazing. They have their place, but you cannot let them teach our children. We cannot let them teach our children.
Thank you.
And so my question probably from that then is then, do you have parent-teacher interviews, and how do you navigate this path?
Well, my role at the moment, and has been for about the last 10 years, is actually in a relief role. So I don't do a lot of parent-teacher interviews. So I've sort of, if I go back 10 years to the last parent-teacher interview I did, it wouldn't have been about screens. I don't think it was as prolific, at that time. It's becoming worse and worse now. But, I have had to have difficult conversations with parents as well. And this is where I thank Joan, who guided me, the lady that I met, and I did reality therapy supported by choice theory, and that was my modality to get out. And as I learned about me, I learned that process. So I bring that into my conversations. So I'm very careful to about us strategically go about saying something without the parent feeling overly challenged. So I might use phrases like, I hear what you're saying. I wonder if you would like to consider. Or I've been in the classroom with your child and I hear the child that you know. Would you like to hear about the child that I know? Because then together, I think we can do great things to help your child moving forward.
That's
so
beautiful.
Acknowledging their role, which is the primary role,
and
acknowledge. And when you get parents coming in, I had one lady once, and this was about 10 years ago, ring me and really get angry with me because of something that was happening with her son, and he was going home complaining to me, and I just listened. And then when she finished, I said, okay, sounds like you and I need to work together. Would you like to do that? Which they're not used to having that sort of conversation.
No.
I said, I hear you have a son who's like this. What I'd like to do is have that son in the classroom with me, because at the moment I have one who's da-da-da-da, and I described him very gently. And I'm really glad that you rang, because I was at the point of ringing you to ask you, what is my role in your son behaving? Is there a role that I'm playing? I'm probably not, but I might, in their eyes, I might be. So it's always being prepared to acknowledge their point of view, but then very gently bring it around to perhaps another way of viewing it without offending them. And giving them the ability to say to me, well, JL, boom, you can say whatever you like. Okay, all right, I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm going to own this, and we're going to, so sort of like that. That's how I have worked as a teacher in the past, and it's been successful, I must say.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your approach, because my experience, and when my children were growing up, and I guess again a different era, is it was I came from that era where anybody in authority, whether it was a policeman, a teacher, a priest, what they said went down, and there was really no discussion, no compassion. It wasn't about what was best for the child or the person. It was about, this is the way we do it, hence suck it up or don't. So, you know, what you've shared is really lovely to hear, because, you know, with that response, you can't help but feel that you're open to discussion, you're reasonable, and you know, you are there at the end of the day to help them and their child. So thank you.
I love
I
that.
think it's always, you know, I'll just finish on this, is looking at the story. You know, when a child presents in a classroom, their behaviour's all over the shop or whatever, the first port of call, what is their story? And when I learn the story, I can understand the behaviour and work better with it.
Yeah.
And that's what I do with parents as well. So, yeah.
Thank you, ladies. We just went a little bit down the rabbit hole, but it's all good. It's all good. I just need some time to speak to Wendy as well. So, my beautiful JL, what is your word for 2025?
This is going to sound a bit awful, but when Nina said expand, was it expand? Yeah. I straight away thought exposure, which isn't probably a good word to use. But what
No.
I mean, and I heard what Nina was saying before, you know, when we go into business, and this is something else I got clear on at the end of last year, or clarity on, is that I have held back because I haven't wanted to stand out. So now this year is about allowing myself to be seen and to use the knowledge that I have to hopefully inspire and help other people, and not be that little one that wants to sink away into the background. I know it's related back to childhood roots. So exposure, or to be seen, is probably a better collection of words.
Exposure, keep the word exposure. Our superstar JL. Yes to you. Thank you. My beautiful Wendy.
My word for the year is inner peace. And that has come about with something I really started claiming last year. And it was something I've been sharing with my clients, that our inner peace and which really relates to our psyche, our mind, our thoughts, are really important to how we feel, because it affects our nervous system, it affects our relationships, and it is about taking care of us, because we are very good at not taking care of ourselves and betraying ourselves. And in the past, we may have been betrayed by other people, but the worst type of betrayal is self-betrayal. And the only way we can get that inner peace is taking care of ourselves and not feeling guilty about that. We don't need permission for it. We are important.
I love it. So yes to your inner peace for 2025, my beautiful Wendy. So mine will be celebration. I am celebrating 60 years on this amazing earth. And then I am also celebrating the 1,000 members. My dream plan 3.5 years ago. Well, the 20th of June 2021. And then my wisdom keepers, I've got 63 wisdom keepers and not just 60. So I'm so excited. My beautiful Wendy, I wanted to ask you a question around about purpose and clarity. You've mentioned that you are helping quite a lot of people with their clarity, especially on their inner work. Can you bestow a few pointers or tips on the viewers to find their clarity, please?
Yes. So overall, for every individual, as JL says, that the problems we have in our world, the problem is not the problem. It goes back to a wound that is unresolved. And again, this is not about blame of the parents, because we have to look at the last lots of generations who have come through 2 wars, and they were in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, you act quite differently to when things are in a calm state. However, when you are living in survival mode and you bring children into the world with still being in that survival mode, you then rely on the children. Instead of being there to be there for the needs of the children, you start using your children to be there for the needs of you. And that is why we have so many children that have so many wounds, because in the early stages of development, the brain needs to attach to the parent, but they also need authenticity. They need to know that they're accepted for who they are. However, the child cannot do both at those early stages, so they give up their authenticity to be attached, to feel love, because they know that they will die without their parents. So we have multiple generations of people really not knowing who they are. They're being who they think they should be. My goal, and where we see a lot of health issues now, is that there's so many people, and especially women, that are there carrying the weight of not their own anxieties, the anxieties of their partner, the anxieties of their children, and the amount of health issues that are now coming about because women are not attending to their needs is astronomical. So I am helping women understand how to take care of their needs, how to heal from their wounds. They literally have to go through a reprogramming situation, and a relearning, but understanding how they got to where they were in the first place. But the wonderful thing is that we have now got dedicated doctors, scientists, neuroscientists who have been studying trauma in the brain in the last 20 years. So this is why mental health is really just starting to really be known as a thing, as well as trauma. And trauma comes from the Latin word meaning wound. So it's a wound that is open, that we need to attend to, because it's going to keep, we have an open wound, we're going to do anything to avoid that. And because it's too painful to go there. So everything in our life is going to be affected by that wound if we don't address the wound. And when I have helped women address the wound, oh my gosh, they are living life instead of existing life. But it's too painful to go there on your own. You can't do it on your own. You need someone to help you go through there, because the way you were set up in the first place, or the way you believed how you needed to be, was set up by a human. You looked into their eyes, you saw what they wanted or needed from you. So you need someone who can reflect that to you and validate you what you need.
Wow.
And if you're open to that and you want to go there, it is, and I had to do it myself. So I'm not just talking the talk. I've been that road, but I've also done the research and the education, because I wasn't getting the answers from the medical field that I needed. And this is the thing, is that they don't have all the answers. They don't have, and this is not dissing the medical industry. There's so much good work, but they don't have all the answers. And as I said earlier on, that in medical students that go to university, they're not taught about the whole mind body nervous system connection. They are only told to solve the physical problem, which will never heal humankind.
So my beautiful ladies, there's no time for Nino and Jael to ask you a question. I'm going to do the paparazzi in a few seconds. I just quickly want to mention that both of the ladies here, Nino and my beautiful Wendy, is Mrs. Spots. So my beautiful, I have viewers, I have had a dream. 7 Mrs. Spots of Beauty and the Beast was on turning around. They were on a turnstile on a record or LP. So my daughter bought the LP here in New Zealand. It was the record that was playing. It was Elvis Presley Return to Sender. But this is what I saw in my dream. The record was like this, and then the Mrs. Potts, the animated of Beauty and the Beast was here, and the diamonds were pouring out. I showed this today in one of the shows I've done, and my grandson said afterwards, "Did you play this to hear music?" And he said, "Why so big? Why is there grooves?" He had so many questions. So we did a memory lane for him with the record player. But I just wanted to let you know that I have now 26 Mrs. Spots. JL, can you believe it? When I started 18 months ago, we started with 3, 4, 5, 7, and then we saw the weekends doesn't work. So now I have 26 Mrs. Spots, but we only have 25 tea parties, diamond tea parties. And it's not only for the diamond beauties. The ladies can invite any of their lady friends for an half an hour tea party. There's no recording, but we do take a photograph at the end. So my beautiful Wendy, you are Mrs. Potts since August last year. How do you feel having your Mrs. Potts? If you can give us a short answer, because Nina, you're going to have your first one still coming, hey? Okay, I'm going to talk about it. So, Wendy, how do you feel being your Mrs. Potts, and what is your Mrs. Potts name called, and what time?
I love hosting Mrs. Potts. When you first asked me, I was quite apprehensive and anxious, thinking, oh my gosh, I'm responsible for holding space for 1 to how many women? And then I thought, this is not about me. It's about bringing love into a community of women who need each other in this time and not to feel alone. So when I changed my thought patterns, I thought, wow, this is a wonderful, wonderful, privilege, really. And the session is called The Reason I Smile. And it means that, we go through so many troubles in life, and sometimes we do not have the right space to really feel safe, comfortable. And I provide that space so we can laugh, we can cry, you can turn up and you can just sit there and observe if you don't feel like it participating. But I can tell you what, you might feel crappy at the beginning of the session, but by the time you finish, you feel jolly good.
Wow, incredible. And Nina, you're going to have your first, my daughter walked up. Oh, don't worry. Do you want to take it? Okay, perfectly. So my beautiful Nina has to run. So Nina is going to start her Mrs. Potts today as well. I'm not too sure of her time. I think it's 10 a.m. Let me quickly look at the banner. Just give me 1 second. Mrs. Potts. So I had quite a lot of things I had to make sure that's in the magazine and everything for Mrs. Potts. Let me quickly look at Nina's one. So Nina, Nina is only on a Wednesday, so she will be in the next day, and her time is, let me just quickly, I cannot even see it. Where's my glasses? Please excuse me, my viewers and my beautiful ladies. Let me just tell you, Nina's time, it's 2 p.m. Central Eastern Europe time, and we are looking forward to her beautiful session that she's going to help. She will also be a new Mrs. Potts. How are you feeling being a new Mrs. Potts, my beautiful Nina? And you are starting on Wednesday.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I feel honored, and I'm super blessed to be inside the Diamond Beauty member. Sorry. And I feel honored, and I'm super excited. I'm super excited for tomorrow's. It's the first soulful coffee chat with me, and tomorrow's topic is about shine your light. How to stop hiding your beautiful life, how to stop hiding your gifts so you can step into your purpose and do the work you love.
Beautiful. I cannot wait. So, ladies, are you ready for paparazzi? JL, what is your golden nugget? Unmute yourself, my girl.
My golden nugget for, I'm not sure what this is about.
Your golden nugget that I have on my database. Okay, I will go and look at your golden nugget. My beautiful Wendy, what is your golden nugget?
My golden nugget is I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become by Carl Jung.
Beautiful. Are you ready for paparazzi?
I am.
Here we go. Before I go to Nina JL, let me just quickly look at yours. Jenny, now I was not prepared to look at this. Okay. Before I tell you, Nina, can you tell me your golden nugget, please?
Yes, be brave, shine your light because the world needs that love and light inside of you more than ever.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Are you ready for paparazzi? Here we go. Wow. Okay, so let me just quickly get my glasses. So my beautiful JL, I think I have yours as, but now I cannot find your name. Where is you on my database? Okay. Can you give us any golden nugget, my beautiful one? I think I've got
Sorry, I've forgotten about this particular aspect of it, so I haven't come prepared, have I? Sorry, I'm letting your viewers down. But
No,
look,
no, you never, my girl, never.
let's just go from what I've been discussing, I guess, and sharing here with you tonight. And a golden nugget would be to just shine your light, give care, give understanding, and be prepared to be who you are for those that you are guiding in your life so they can be who they are. Didn't quite come out as I wanted it, but it's along that theme of allowing each of us to be who we are and accepting the differences that make our world complete.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful. Are you ready for paparazzi? And my golden nugget is if your why is big enough, you can do anything. You can do everything. And I'm ready for paparazzi. So my beautiful viewers, I hope that you've enjoyed our amazing discussion, and particularly the discussion that beautiful JL have given us with our kids. And even if you don't have, well, I have kids, but I cannot not do a lot. I can just love them, but I can still help my grandchildren make better choices. And my grandson Zander will ask me, Omi, what life lessons do you have for me for today? I love it. So we can still help our beautiful children and grandchildren grow to amazing humans. So my beautiful viewers, I hope that you had a wonderful time with us. You don't know what can happen in 1 hour. And that's why the Power Hour TV show is so impactful with amazing guests. May you have all an amazing day. Please take care of yourself, smile often, and keep on dancing. We're not going to keep doing the dancing, but we will send you all off with a kiss. And the kiss for me stands for moments with authentic hearts. Not only did I have a moment with your authentic heart, my beautiful, beautiful guest, but with you, my beautiful viewers. You are allowing us in your sitting room, in your lounge, and you have watched us. So here is to you. Mwah! Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.